And now we are very fortunate to be able to welcome Jason Silva to the webinar. Jason is a Jewish Venezuelan American filmmaker, philosopher, and futurist who uses technology to help people become engaged in the life of the mind, philosophy, and science. He hosted the Emmy-nominated National Geographic series Brain Games, broadcast in over 171 nations. He has also been the host of the global miniseries Origins, The Journey of Humankind. His inspirational videos, Shots of Awe, have received over 100 million views and explore futurism, technology, creativity, the science of awe, disruptive innovation, relationships, and mental health. He will share his personal story as a Venezuelan and the efforts that he has made to try and secure Spanish citizenship for some of his most vulnerable family members. Thank you, Jason. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And a big hello to everyone listening. Si hay venezolanos en la audiencia, también un gran saludo y abrazo para ustedes. To the degree that I can be an amplifier of this message and of this cause, I just really want to extend myself to you guys, because this has become extremely personal for me. So, as Sarah just said, my nombre es Jason Silva. I was born in Caracas, Venezuela. I am Jewish. I was bar mitzvahed. I lived in Venezuela till I was 18. I was one of the people lucky enough who was able to leave to go study in university. However, my father and my sister were not so lucky. So they stayed in Venezuela, and through my relationship, of course, with them, I have sort of had a firsthand experience of the deterioration in that country. My father has suffered at the hands of the violence there. He's been kidnapped at gunpoint multiple times, has had threats against his life. I mean, the situation in Venezuela is a matter of life and death. I mean, it really is. And so when this situation with the law of return sort of became a thing, and many people that my father knew were doing these genealogical studies, you know, we decided, let's do this, right? Like, I mean, this is this could be a lifeline to move to Spain. You know, for my father, I mean, I just can't tell you the anxiety over these last couple of years with what's happening in Venezuela, and this just became, you know, the North Star. I mean, this possibility, and the irony of this is that, you know, I ended up going on a journey of discovering my own Sephardic ancestry as well, because even though I'm Jewish, on my mother's side, a lot of that ancestry is Ashkenazi, although we have since found out that we also have a Sephardic ancestor on my mother's side. My father is, again, what you could call a converso Sephardi, so he didn't even know this. You know, he was Catholic as far as he knew, although he converted to Judaism when he married my mom in the 70s. But through the studies of the last name and through this genealogical stuff that we were able to find out, we found out that, lo and behold, my father also has a Sephardic lineage. His name is Luis Manuel Silva, and by extension, my sister Paulina Silva Perez as well, and my brother Jordan. And so we went through this process and invested a significant amount of money, I think upwards of $20,000. We worked with the best lawyer that we could find at the time. Thankfully, you folks in New Mexico were so supportive and facilitate us getting the Sephardic certificate. And we did everything that the law said, right? The law says that it is the notaries in Spain that are the ones that are meant to evaluate the documents. And if you secure all of the documents, including the study of the last name, the proof of Judaism, the Sephardic certificate from a federation somewhere, a congregation, I mean, we delivered all of the documents. In my dad's case, he went to the notary to sign before the COVID pandemic, something like February or March 2020, and has heard nothing since then. But the point is, we showed up at the notary. We had all of the documents vetted with our lawyer there, with the notary people there, everything approved, everything fine, right? Everything verified, and you sign, which according to the law, that's it. The role of the Ministry of Justice at that point is just to verify that you don't have a criminal record. So as far as we're concerned, we meet the criteria of the law. We did it by the law. And here we go, you know, a year and a half later, and my father has received no information. And then with the COVID pandemic, the situation in Venezuela, I mean, it's just been absolutely awful. And the frustration on my end is that, you know, I'm trying to use my voice as a public figure and somebody with a tremendous following para ser la voz de la angustia venezolana. I mean, to the degree that I can, like, Venezuela es un país that opened its arms to Spaniards, right? So many years ago, it was a place that welcomed people from the world, welcomed people from Spain. And so to see what Spain is seemingly doing now is just, it's heartbreaking on every level. You know, and just to give you like an example, I was even interviewed by Radio Sefarad, which is a publication associated with the FSCGE, the Federation of the Jewish in Spain. And even though I was interviewed by their publication, the FSCGE has still not approved the documents that we have sent them to try to subsanar our application to make it stronger, given that we have received no feedback from the government, even though we met the original criteria of the law. So the irony of ironies of what's happening is just so unjust. So in any case, my heart goes out to every single person listening, todo lo que están escuchando. I am an ally in this fight, and estoy a la orden in any way that I can to amplify this message and to right this wrong. The journey for me to connect with this, you know, I already had on my mother's side family that died in the Holocaust, but through this, through studying this heritage and seeing what happened with the Inquisition and with this Sephardic ancestry of ours, it's just been even more heartbreaking. So I'm here. Think of me as an ally and a voice. And I just want to thank you for the opportunity to share my story, because in the end, I'm just trying to help the people that I love have a better life. And you know, the situation in Venezuela is a matter of life and death. So let's do this, guys. And thank you for having me.